Now on CoastTV News.
Dangerous currents coming. We continue to track Hurricane Erin as people in our beach communities are preparing for rough ocean conditions. Potential park problem, why parents in the Lewis area are asking for upgrades along the canal.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Matt Pensick and welcome to CoastTV News Midday. And our top story this hour is beach communities are preparing for the impacts of Hurricane Erin. The Category 4 hurricane is expected to cause rip currents. And the Ocean City Beach Patrol is telling people of what to do if caught in a rip current. This has people in the town paying attention to what is occurring away from local shores. According to the Beach Patrol, if you are stuck in a rip current, swim parallel to the shore.
On alert, Erin is coming, but she's going to be offshore. So we're going to have big waves. We're going to have a lot of rip current.
And according to the Beach Patrol, if you are stuck in a rip current, swim parallel to the shore and then also wait for lifeguard assistance. So that is a look ahead. We got a live look now at one of those areas expecting heavy wave activity later this week, Rehoboth Beach. And our first alert meteorologist, Bob Trihey, is watching Erin's path, and he joins us now with a look at first alert weather. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Matt. You can see the Atlantic's already pretty angry, pretty churned up, but not exactly from Erin. We are seeing an onshore flow. We had a cold front come through, and we're looking at a lot of clouds on the visible satellite picture, even a few showers east of Bridgeville right now, and maybe some drizzle around Salisbury and the eastern shore. You can't really pick up drizzle on the infrared satellite, I should say the visible satellite, but we are seeing a cold front that is slid to the south, and this will pretty much stay stationary and keep our chances for clouds and showers going the next couple of days. 74 in Georgetown, 74 in Millsboro right now. Mid to upper 70s at the coast, and that northeast wind really kicking in, gusting close to 30 miles per hour at the coast. In fact, 34 at IR Inlet, and pretty gusty winds inland as well. We do have a rip current statement or higher rip current risk from Lewis down to Fenwick Island, and also a coastal flood advisory as we go through the day into this evening, maybe up to a foot of inundation with that water piling up along the coast with that easterly wind, with clouds, drizzle, and some shower activity continuing into the afternoon, and temperatures falling through the 70s. Here's your day part forecast. Kind of rainy into the afternoon and evening hours. Have that umbrella handy, and then all eyes on Erin, and we're going to start to see those waves increasing as we go into Wednesday, and pretty big waves, and also talk about the rip current risk as well coming up a little bit later in the newscast.
All right, thanks, Bob. And it's a hurricane that has only become more powerful in the last several hours. NBC's Jesse Kurtz shows us the impact of Erin as it continues north.
This morning, Hurricane Erin getting stronger, again becoming a Category 4 hurricane overnight. The storm moving north after a soaking weekend in the Caribbean, and expected to bring with it life-threatening waves and rip currents up and down the east coast. And while Erin crawled around Puerto Rico, the island was still slammed by strong waves and flash flooding. Puerto Rico's governor warning people about potentially treacherous conditions.
So those people visiting or going to rivers on the island, we advise you not to do it.
And off the coast of St. Croix, the U.S. Coast Guard says 2 men had to be rescued from rough seas. Meanwhile, NOAA hurricane hunters captured this incredible video by flying inside Erin's eerily peaceful eye. Now, Erin is expected to trek between the Atlantic's open waters between the mainland U.S. and Bermuda. And while the storm will likely stay over a couple hundred miles from the U.S., the impact on East Coast shores from those dangerous currents could still be deadly. The ocean threat top of mind after a 13-year-old girl drowned Friday night at the beach in Belmar, New Jersey, according to police, when lifeguards were off duty, marking the second deadly drowning along the Jersey shore in just a week. Meanwhile, with Hurricane Erin on the way, some people in coastal communities like North Carolina's Outer Banks are watching closely.
Hurricane Erin is supposed to stay hundreds of miles away from the U.S. mainland. Why does it still have your attention?
We've had so many of these in the past. We're expecting between 15 to 40 foot waves on shore. And I used to surf a lot, and that kind of stuff is scary.
Jesse Kirsch, NBC News.
New this morning, we are learning about an Ocean Pines person who is facing theft charges after a criminal summons on Sunday. According to the Ocean Pines Police Department, Grayson Ashley Mitchell is suspected of theft involving missing money that was not completely deposited from the Clubhouse Grill. Now, police say Mitchell was unable to provide any explanation to investigators as to what might have happened to the missing money. Mitchell was charged with felony theft of over $13,000 and was released pending a future court appearance. A beloved playground in Lewis is raising safety concerns. Parents say the Canal Front Park is just too close to the water and should have a fence. They are warning that without a barrier, children could run from the play area to the water in seconds, turning a day of fun into tragedy. And some are now urging city officials to act, and they're expected to present a petition at today's Parks and Recreation Commission meeting, pointing to CDC data showing drowning is one of the leading causes of accidental death for children, especially toddlers. Happening tonight, Milton's fiscal year 2026 budget could move closer to finalization. The town council will review plans that call for nearly $5 million in expenses. Milton is projecting that with taxes, fees, grants, and other resources, it will have over $5.5 million in revenue. A vote by the town council could occur at their 6:30 p.m. meeting. Milton's fiscal year begins on October 1st. And more on Milton's budget, including a look at the entire proposal, that can be found on the CoastTV app and website. This just in, Ocean City is taking new steps in protecting and planting trees. It's in the form of what town officials are calling a mini grant. The town will give $100 vouchers to people living in Ocean City to purchase and plant a tree selected from the town's plant list. The application deadline is November 14th. Coming up, bins bring beach change. We look at the recycling program in Lewis that aims to keep surf and sand clear. CoastTV News Midday returns after this. Whether you live on the coast or just visiting the beautiful beaches on Delmarva, you can see how important it is to keep the beaches clean. In Lewis, there are 2 new recycling bins you can use. It's part of the Recycling Right program. It's only for bottles and cans. We spoke with one man who visits the beach yearly. He says anything will help.
From time to time, see some litter. But yeah, I think any initiative to clean things up is a good thing. Obviously, we don't want to be on a messy beach.
And Lewis Mayor Amy Marasco says depending on the results from these bins, you could see more of them in the future. Tonight, Ocean City Mayor Rick Meehan and the council looking at extending parking options for organizers of the White Marlin Open. This allows the Open to use 30 feet of parking along Jacqueline Avenue between 14th and 15th Street and extends the approval of the parking through the year 2030. Here's what's coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network. 8:30, you can relive the Berlin bathtub races. Then, as always, catch the final score at 10:30.
A live look into Cambridge, looking a little gloomy. Lots of clouds, breezy, 72 degrees. Temperatures not climbing much with drizzle and light rain, and the cooler in weather pattern continues the next couple of days, then building waves and rip currents from distant Hurricane Erin. That begins early Wednesday. Congratulations to Joy Stevens from Milton on winning a brand new umbrella from Paul Davis and Coast TV. I'll have the latest on Erin and its impacts on Delmarva coming up next. It has turned into a gloomy Monday across Delmarva. We had a little bit of sunshine this morning, but now it's clouds, and we've got raindrops on the lens in Lewis, 75 degrees. And look at the whitecaps across Delaware Bay. We're looking at the winds picking up today and the rain showers as well. Not in association with Erin, it's just a stronger onshore flow around high pressure. Both today and tomorrow, cloudy and cool. Temperatures struggling to get out of the 70s with spotty showers and that onshore flow. Then Wednesday, we're tracking Erin well off our coast, but dangerous surf waves 6 to 12 feet, maybe even higher in some places, with dangerous rip currents and coastal flooding expected. Right now, temperatures haven't moved much since this morning into the mid-70s, 74 in Millsboro, Ocean City 78, 76 in Bethany Beach, 74 in Georgetown, and we're only going to warm up a few more degrees because we're socked in with the clouds and now a northeast wind that's sustained at 30 miles per hour at the beaches, gusting to 35 IR Inlet, 31 in Rehoboth, and pretty breezy inland as well. So we're We're seeing a raw kind of day on the visible satellite. Picture lots of clouds, even a few stray showers around the Milford area, and many of us could be seeing patchy drizzle. Just doesn't show up on the satellite right now, with the eastern shore seeing lots of clouds as well. As we had a cold front slide through earlier on, and that is now stalled to our south. So this front will be the focus for damp weather the next 2 days, with clouds and scattered showers. Here's Futurecast at noon. The winds picking up, the water piling up along the coast as well. We do have a coastal flood advisory there, with mid-70s at noon. And then as we go into the afternoon, temperatures actually falling, with rain showers and patchy drizzle, and that will continue into this evening. And overnight, still that chance of light rain and drizzle. And then Tuesday, more of the same, clouds and once again some showers and drizzle. That continues into Tuesday evening. Then into Wednesday, we finally start to dry things out a little bit. We get some more breaks in the clouds and temperatures in the 70s and low 80s. Dangerous rip currents today along the Delaware coast, and that's really going to continue the rest of the week, as we have a small craft advisory Delaware Bay and down into the Atlantic Ocean as well, as we're seeing those winds gusting to 30 miles per hour, and they'll be pretty breezy the next couple of days. Here's Hurricane Erin now churning north and east of the Turks and Caicos, packing winds of 140 miles per hour, gusting to 165. So it actually has strengthened since the last observation, and thankfully it has not hit any land yet, and it may not, as it tracks northwest then north as a major hurricane off our coast as we go into Wednesday and Thursday, creating life-threatening rip currents, dangerous surf and beach erosion, coastal flooding as well. And we think waves of 6 to 12 feet as those waves start to pick up in intensity later Wednesday and into Thursday. You see the yellow on the legend around 5 to 10 foot waves. Then we go into Thursday. That'll be the peak of the waves, maybe 6 to 12 foot waves, maybe even higher down towards Chincoteague to Ocean View, a little less farther north, but really big waves offshore, maybe 30 footers. And then we'll start to see those waves begin to diminish as we go into Friday as Erin moves away. 75 in Seaford today, 76 in Georgetown, kind of cloudy, kind of damp and rainy, 76 in Cambridge and Vienna. And then farther south, a little warmer in Crisfield, 82, and 80 in Pocomoke City with some showers. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, unsettled the next 2 days with highs only in the mid to upper 70s. Then dangerous surf and rip currents later Tuesday into Wednesday and Thursday, and then diminishing surf as Erin moves offshore, and really not much weather going on, upper 70s, low 80s, with partly cloudy skies through the rest of the week, and then the weekend looking dry and warm.
All right, thanks, Bob. And here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4.
I know Mondays can be rough, and that's where we come in here at Coast Life. If you join us at 4 o'clock today, we're going to be talking some back to school, some tips on how parents can help teachers out this year. Also, a back to school supply drive that you can help give back to the community with. And all summer, your air conditioner has probably been running, and it might be time to check out those air ducts and give them a cleaning. We've got the professionals to handle that as well. All that fun and more is coming up today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
Tonight, Air Canada expecting to resume flights. This after its flight attendants remaining off the job through Sunday. The 10,000 flight attendants began their strike on Saturday, and that forced the airline to cancel flights. The flight attendants are demanding higher wages and to be paid when planes are grounded. Still ahead, helping the heart, how removing part of a cell might prevent heart failure. Stay with us on Coast TV News Midday. A study conducted in Utica, New York made a breakthrough discovery in the fight against heart disease linked to obesity and diabetes. As Nolan Hyman shows us, researchers found removing a particular enzyme from heart cells can protect it from metabolic changes.
A breakthrough discovery was recently made in a 5-year study conducted by the Masonic Medical Research Institute. The study finds that removing the enzyme PTP1B in heart cells helps with preventing heart failure linked to obesity and diabetes. PTP1B is involved with insulin signaling, which leads to insulin resistance.
So when we lose this particular enzyme, in particular in the heart, we can reestablish insulin sensitivity, so it can prevent a consequence of type 2 diabetes and also metabolic functions in the heart.
The study used mice to see the effects of removing PTP1B. Mice without the enzyme were resistant to harmful metabolic changes, like over-reliance on glucose.
We found that with deletion of this PTP1B enzyme in cardiomyocytes, these hearts are protected against the obesity-induced cardiomyopathy.
High glucose levels can be bad for our health. But fatty acids are a more beneficial energy source for our bodies.
By using PTP1B inhibitors, we think we can help push the system to focus specifically on fatty acid oxidation, which is the primary health source for the heart to function more efficiently and more properly in the body.
Dr. Contaridis says obesity and diabetes is the next pandemic. Drugs like Ozempic are out there to reduce the risk of heart failure in those who have diabetes, but that they can have potentially harmful side effects.
We think that this study with the PTP1B inhibitor might actually help revolutionize a better class, a new class of drugs that can help patients in the near future without all of those negative side effects of the current drugs on the market.
The lab will continue researching the effects of PTP1B on the heart. The research is funded through philanthropy and federal agencies.
We're seeing lots of rain on the Lens and Laurel right now, 75. The showers continuing this afternoon and steady temperatures. This cooler and wetter pattern continues the next couple of days, then building waves and rip currents from distant Hurricane Erin beginning early Wednesday. Call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast, sponsored by Brockstead, Mandalis, Federico. I'll have your 10-day forecast coming up after the break. Make sure you have your rain gear out the door this afternoon. Still looking at areas of drizzle, light rain. Temperatures not really going anywhere, mid-70s, and gusty northeast winds will pile up the water along the coast. Maybe some minor flooding there. We continue the rain showers into Tuesday with a high of 76. Your Paul Davis 10-day forecast, building surf and dangerous rip currents as well. Beginning Wednesday, 81. I think the peak of those waves on Thursday, maybe some in excess of 12 feet. Very dangerous out there. And then drive through Friday into the weekend. Low to mid 80s with partly cloudy skies. A few showers possible by Monday, and then starting to cool off a little bit after that.
All right, thanks, Bob, and thank you for watching us here on Coast TV News Midday. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app, and don't forget to join us later for Coast TV News at 5. Until then, have a great Monday, everybody.